Hey everyone! I hope you've had a great weekend, and if you're new here, welcome to this channel. Feel free to introduce yourself down in the comments and maybe make some new friends. And if you're not into this whole voiceover thing, don't worry, I always upload an instrumental version where I don't do any talking and it's just, some nice music and ambient sounds, and that video will be linked down below and up in the top corner right about now. Today we're building a super cozy bungalow with only the base game, and we're building it right here in Oasis Springs on the Arid Ridge lot. I think with this build you can probably tell how excited I am about fall. I couldn't help but incorporate all these warm colors and natural materials. Obviously I couldn't use the seasons pack, so there are no pumpkins, but I hope that the fireplace and all the warm colors kind of make up for it. It's also kind of funny because it's built in Oasis Springs, and Oasis Springs is a desert world. And obviously there is some sort of fall all over the world, but they all experience it a little bit differently. So where I am, it's constantly wet. It's muddy and it's cold, and it's that typical like sweater weather, hot cocoa, stay inside, watch movies, light candles kind of season, where in Oasis Springs it's kind of hard to make that shine through. But honestly, that's the thing I find the hardest about base game in general, that there are only those three base worlds. I feel like Willow Creek and Newcrest has kind of the same vibes, so if you want to build anything a little bit differently from those like very suburban or mansion-y kind of things, then you really need to get into Oasis Springs instead. And then suddenly it takes a bit of the coziness away. Like I wish it was maybe a forest world or something like that, because I kind of like my builds to still sort of blend in with the surroundings, so that's kind of like the hardest part about building with only the base game, that you're a little bit limited in the different kind of styles you can do, or at least, you have to be creative in a bit of a different way. So this is still kind of a fall build, even though it is, in the middle of a desert and probably not what many of us think of when we think of fall. But then, we got all the nice colors, and, your Sims can still wear a sweater, so it's all good. Now that I mentioned a forest world, I guess you can kind of tell from the exterior of this that I was originally thinking of a sort of cabin in the woods when I started this build. I love the stone and I love the wood paneling, and I also brought that into the house with these wooden floors. Next up is the fireplace and these orangey rust-colored walls. I don't know about you, but lately I've seen so many inspiration pictures of these like rusty interiors. Not rusty, but with that color, those red colors brought in, and the warmth with a lot of I often see it with pinks, but also with other natural colors that are more mossy or green, and I've really been into it. I even bought some new bedding for myself. It's been a while, it's been a few months, but I did, and I just get so happy when I see that kind of red and pinkish thing brought into a home. And I really wanted to get that vibe in here, that warm, cozy vibe that just exudes from these images I see online. I don't know, how do you guys feel about that interior trend right now? Do you even see it as much as I do? Maybe my feed is just super personalized and they can tell I like it, so I'll see more of it. Then I put in these bookshelves, and I was really pleased that they kind of looked built-in, like they were meant to be in that nook I had created. So if you only have the base game, I actually really recommend that. Even though you might not like the free swatches on these bookshelves, I really love that, if you just build a nook with those 4 tiles, then it'll actually fit pretty perfectly. And when you only have the base game, you obviously have fewer options than the people who have all of them, so I think it's so rare to actually just get something that fits perfectly, and it doesn't fit absolutely perfectly, but if you just scoot it a little bit, I really think it looks like it's meant to be there. And speaking of building with the base game, I was actually thinking about maybe making it kind of a series, either like a base game Monday thing, or just maybe making every other video a base game or limited pack video, because there's something about, uploading something to the gallery and seeing that many packs. I just see when you have to actually click next to see the rest of the packs, that's when I get a little bit embarrassed about my own builds, because I feel like it's so rare to have all of the packs, and also it's rare to have, you know, then the same combination of packs as someone else. You know, if you use those like 10, 12, 15 packs, and then, you know, you have to have all the same ones. So I feel like it can be harder to actually use these. Obviously, there's some entertainment value in just watching something pretty and cute being built. But I don't know, how do you guys feel about that? Do you want me to make like every other video a base game video, or do you like the more creative kinds more, even though you probably can't use it in your game? Or am I totally wrong, and do people have a lot more packs than I thought you maybe do? Speaking of Mondays, I've been thinking of making it my weekly upload day. So I don't know, I've been trying to like figure out how to do a schedule. Like, can I manage making more videos in a week than one? Can I make 2? Can I make 3? Can I only make one every other week? And I think I want to like try out doing this like once a week, because obviously I still work, I still have a life, I still have, you know, lots of other things that I need to do, and I'm still looking for another job and all these kinds of things that take up a lot of time. And I also know I really want to put out quality content. But then the thing is, like, what day should I choose? What day should I upload on? And I don't know if it really means that much to you, but I know that I follow a few content creators, and I know when their next weekly upload is, and I'll look forward to it. And I mean, Mondays work well for me, so how about you guys? Would you be fine with me uploading every Monday? I feel like Mondays is such a good day to just binge watch something on YouTube, or, you know, just really be a zombie, because I always feel like a zombie on Mondays, but lately I've been feeling like a zombie all the time. I am a very tired person lately. But how about you? Are you doing good lately? Are you in like a good period or bad period? Like, let me know down in the comments and we can talk about it. Or if you prefer, we can just talk about the build. So again, now I'm in the kitchen, and I was originally thinking a little bit about the Beetlejuice house when I started making this kitchen. So I had actually never seen Beetlejuice before, but I've actually seen a content creator here on YouTube talk about it being their favorite film, and then we've started seeing trailers for Beetlejuice 2, and then suddenly it popped up and was like, oh, okay, we can actually stream this right now. So me and my partner decided to watch it, and I really liked the kitchen they had there with the white cabinets, and, you know, it was very homey feeling, but this didn't really have the same layout, or it just didn't really get it. So that's why I tried to use these white cabinets in the beginning, because I was like inspired by that house, but I guess it was just like becoming more and more clear to me that we were not getting in that direction at all. So you can see the counters go through a lot of changes, and everything in this kitchen goes through a lot of changes. It was a really hard kitchen to really nail down, because I had that like idea in the beginning, and then I had to slowly realize that that's just not gonna happen for this build. I usually cut out a lot of this back and forth from my building, but I was thinking maybe you like to see the process a little bit more. So this is the reality of the process. The process is just me going back and forth and, you know, moving things, moving them back, trying it out, and everything about this kitchen was like kind of a curse, but at the same time, I also really ended up liking it. So suffice to say, this is not how the kitchen actually ends up. I still switch out the counters once more. I really feel like I went through every single base game swatch there was. And then I ended up choosing probably my least favorite of all the counters. But it had a pretty nice swatch, and usually I don't like it that much because you'll see when I get to it, but the end piece of it is a triangle, and it's just kind of like not what I'm looking for usually. However, in this build it was kind of quirky, and then I could fit the trash can a little bit better because I also had a lot of trouble finding a place for the trash. So for once, that triangle thing actually ended up working out perfectly, but I've never had that happen before. I usually always just want a normal end piece. Anyway, here I go actually switching out the counters. So you can see I found this almost teal kind of counter swatch, and I really felt like it gave so much more personality to the kitchen. So before you could just like kind of look at it and it was like, it was so bland somehow. But when I switched out the counters, I feel like I got a whole new direction. And everything started to come together. Like, I switched out a lot of things, so it started to become like more colorful. I embraced a bit more yellow tones. I took out that modern chandelier thing and switched it out for just a normal yellowish lamp. And with those things switched out, it was really just more about the finishing touches of the kitchen, and I ended up really liking it. I think it's really cozy. Now this entry room, on the other hand, or mud room, I don't know what you'd call it. Either way, it's always so hard to make hallways and make them not be a waste of space, especially when they have a lot of doors. So you know, when there's not that much room to like put some furniture up against, and you can kind of just like squeeze something in here and there, it can be kind of hard, but I still feel like this became like a pretty good entrance to a home. And also by adding that lamp in the end, you know, it really gave that last touch. And really, I think, you know, I don't know if you know this, but you can switch out the intensity and the light and the color of lamps, but a lot of them in the base game come with like this default very yellow swatch, and I usually steer away from them because I see that yellow tint everywhere, and it grinds my gears, and I never want to go into like live mode and actually change it out. But I think with this, it really adds like another, like some charm to the house. And as I was speaking about light, you can see I also put a yellow light into the bedroom, and trust me, this little hallway is also going to get one of those yellow lights. So I really feel like it's a great way to kind of like set the tone for a build, and those tints can really like add to it. I once made a kind of magical cottage thing for a witch, and I put the light swatches to like a purpley tint or pinkish, and it adds so much to the atmosphere. Now this bathroom, on the other hand, I was really just trying to make it look very lived in, and for that I needed to add some extra clutter, and I started, you know, placing this plant and all these things, and suddenly it became impossible for the sim to actually like wash their hands. I was really playtesting it hard, and I just couldn't figure out a way to like maybe have the plant and also have the toilet and the sink on the same side. And then I ended up finding out that the reason she couldn't wash her hands was not because of any of the other things, it was because of those little towels I had placed. So if you try to be really cute and decorate with those towels on the bottom shelf, just don't. However, they work absolutely fine as decoration on a counter in the other bathroom, just like this, and they're just so cute. I wish I could just like place them on that bottom shelf. Now, obviously, I also have to switch out the counters in this bathroom, but that's pretty much it for the inside, so now let's go on outside. Now, if you think I had trouble with the kitchen, you should know just how much trouble I had with this backyard. I went into debug and I tried all sorts of things, and I just couldn't. It was so bad, so I spared you the details of that, and now we can just like look at what I actually ended up doing. Now, I made this kind of backyard area that turned out really cute with like this whole little patio thing, and then I'll also place some, you know, a chessboard out there, and it just became kind of like a cozy outside, you know, extra living area almost, so you can grill out there. And when I was trying to take, you know, some extra footage of how it looks in the end, I made my sim grill some, I don't know, some steaks or something out there, and then I wanted to get like a cute video of her eating it, but I had forgotten that she was a vegetarian, so I have some really sad footage of a sim, you know, looking very disgusted as she takes a bite. I really should do a blooper reel someday of the footage I get in the end, because I really like making those like little aesthetic videos where you can like see the build being used and all that, but you have no idea how many sims have died during the filming of those. So someone has been hit by a meteor, there's been lightning strikes, there's so many fires. Some people just straight up like just fall, I don't know, things happen. And with this one, it was a very sad vegetarian that had to eat meat for the filming, so I feel bad for that. I would say no sims are harmed in the filming of these videos, but they are, and you really wouldn't think so just by looking at them, because, oh, it's just like, you know, cute build and blah blah blah, you know, but no, the sims get hurt. Anyway, both this build and the base game sim, the sad vegetarian, will be on the gallery. My gallery ID is the same as my name on here. To get the base game girl, you'll have to say yes to custom content. The only thing is the eye preset that won't be there in your game. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. It's been a pleasure having you again, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you liked the video. And have a great week. Bye!